Why am I there twice?
Hey everyone, we're going to get started in about 5 minutes. Hey everyone, we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. Hey everybody, we're just going to get started in just about a minute. Welcome, and thank you for spending your evening with us learning about the School of Education. So I have 6:02 p.m. I think we should get started. I know people are hungry and they're interested to learn about the School of Education. If by some chance you lose connection, just click back on the link that you clicked on to join. You shouldn't have to join a waiting room or anything. It should just connect you once your internet is reestablished. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Julian Dupuy. I am Associate Dean of the School of Education and in charge of the STEM program and science program. So before we get started, we're just going to go through and introduce who else is here from the School of Education so you can put some faces to names that you might see. And I'm just going to go down my list to make it easier. So Ryan, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Ryan Shaw. I'm Associate Professor of Educational Technology in the School of Education. Welcome tonight.
Dr. Doherty?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kathy Doherty. I am Dean of the School of Education and delighted to be here with you tonight.
Dr. Moore.
Good evening. I'm Andy Moore. I'm an associate professor in the School of Ed. I'm the coordinator for the GT program, and I also teach in the PhD program and serve on the PhD committee.
Donna Schischler.
Hi, I'm a graduate academic advisor for education for teachers coming back to get their master's or postmaster's degrees.
Do you have the internet link?
Dr. Quinn.
Evening, I'm Jeanette Quinn. I'm an associate dean and I'm the advisor for the PhD and case programs.
Dr. Bull.
I'm on mute. I spend half my day saying you're on mute and I'm on mute. I'm Kelly Bull. I'm professor of education and I teach primarily in our graduate programs.
Dr. Pallett.
Hi, I'm Lisa Pallett. I teach in the elementary program, Math Methods. I teach the clinical field course and work with internships, and I'm coordinator for the Math Instructional Leader graduate program.
Dr. Carroll.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm the Associate Dean in Southern Maryland. And Linda Mooney is also with me, but she doesn't have the connection yet, so she'll be joining us shortly.
Terrific, thank you. Is Kathy Sypes on yet? No Kathy Sypes. Who else? Sheila on? Mahoney? Nope. All right, did I miss anybody from Notre Dame? All right. Terrific. Thank you so much. So we are excited to have you here for our summer orientation for new students, and hopefully you'll be able to get some good information that you wouldn't otherwise know about. And again, feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions at all during or after this session. So just a general overview, Dr. Doherty is going to welcome you all, and then we're going to move on to some important information that you saw on the agenda that got sent out. Ryan has also put in the chat our Google site that has more information for students that you might find relevant as well, some different policies and handbooks and things. So we're going to go over accessing different pieces of Webadvisor and email and looking at the catalog, and so you know what your expectations are. Brightspace is a new platform that Ryan will go over with you as well. And then we'll talk about the honor code and then just general overall information that we find will be useful for you. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and break out into groups depending upon what your area is, if you're doing certification, or if you're getting a master's degree, or any certificates. So we'll talk about that towards the end of this. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Doherty and have her welcome you all.
Thank you, Dr. Dupuy, and thank you all again for being here. For 125 years, the School of Education at Notre Dame has provided innovative, relevant education to teachers, administrators, leaders, and professionals. School of Education emphasizes not only knowledge and learning with undergraduate degrees and certificates, accelerated programs, and more programs than any other Maryland institution in teacher shortage fields. We also emphasize the heart and soul of education, whether you are in the PK-12 arena or a higher education professional. Our numbers continue to increase each semester, and we are delighted to have you here as our programs expand not only throughout Maryland, the region, the nation, but also around the world. And that is in keeping with our mission, which is really to transform the world through education and educators like you. So congratulations on being here tonight, on beginning your educational career at Notre Dame. All of the individuals that you've met tonight and will meet during your time with us, whether virtual or on campus, are committed to your success. And what you'll learn about tonight are the student success services that we have in place and available for you to support you as you move through your programs and on to graduation and to furthering your career. We believe that we are preparing the very best, the most effective, and the most passionate teachers and educational leaders in the nation. And of course, we cannot do that without any of you being here with us. We cannot do it without our faculty and our staff. And we cannot do it without the mission of Notre Dame, which is, again, to transform the world. So listen and learn tonight. And most importantly, learn the names and the faces of those of us here and who are not able to join us tonight, who are really available to you to support your work and your success in your programs. Lots of good information tonight. I look forward to seeing each of you tonight and to meeting you as you progress through your program. So Julianne, I'll turn it back to you so we can move ahead with the important things tonight.
Thank you so much. All right, so now we're going to hear from Catherine from the library, and she's going to go over some important information and hopefully helpful information for you. Kate, where are you?
Yes, I'm here. I'll just go
There
ahead
you
and
are.
my
Perfect.
screen, if that's okay. Okay, are you all able to see my screen? It should just be a slide that says the Loyola Notre Dame Library on it. Good, fantastic. Okay, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to speak to you tonight. My name is Kate. I am a librarian at the Loyola Notre Dame Library. And today I'll be going over a very, very brief overview of some of the in-person services at the library, as well as some of the remote and online services as well, which are always available. Just so that you are aware, reason for the name also, the library serves the communities of both Notre Dame of Maryland University and Loyola University, Maryland. So both campuses, both students, faculty, and staff can use all of our resources and all of our services. So the library building is currently open. To enter into the library, you'll need to swipe or tap your campus ID. You'll need to show your campus clearance, and then just be sure to wear a mask at all times in the library. There are 4 floors of available spaces to study. The spaces to study include quiet floors, tables, individual carrels. I think one of the really great places about like kind of the studying aspect of our library is we really have seating for everybody, seating for whatever you're interested in or however you can focus for your work. Right now, all the areas and all of the furniture have been marked and spaced to encourage social distancing. So at the current moment, everything is only available for individual study. We're asking please don't study as groups in the library at the moment. The Innovation Station is a space that includes makerspace technologies. So we've got access to a lot of really, really cool technology that's all available. Some of this technology includes a Cricut maker, we've got a laser cutter, a button maker, we've got a couple of 3D printers, a really, really high-tech sewing and embroidery machine, as well as a virtual reality classroom and a recording studio. These are really unique and really interesting technologies that anybody can use. The Innovation Station is currently in with social distancing protocols in place, and the technology can be reserved. This fall, we're actually going to host a couple of pop-up classes where you'll be able to see some of the makerspace technology in action. So the classes from last semester from the spring included how to laser engrave a photo, an introduction to ArcGIS, which is software related to maps and geographic information, and then designing and 3D printing a keychain in a certain program. We've had classes in previous years that vary in terms of like high tech and low tech. So we had a Learn to Knit class a couple of years ago, designing for social media with Adobe Spark, and another class on ArcGIS story maps. Sorry, ArcGIS is my colleague's specialty. I don't know a whole bunch about it, but we've got really great classes that help you learn this technology. I definitely recommend checking out the library website for more information on what specific technology we have and how to register for those classes, how to sign up for reserving the technology. So I'm just going to move along and talk a little bit. Okay, so I should be sharing the library website. So the library website, which is at lndl.org, I'll throw that in the chat real quick. contains resources and services to help you with your studies and your research. So I'll go through some of the resources that you can access remotely or on campus, but if you are studying remotely, this could be helpful. I want to just point out a couple of key places on the library website that you can pop back to. This yellow bar at the top, as you know, the universities have been changing operations. The library has been staying flexible with our services and our hours and our resources. So if you do want information about kind of most up-to-date COVID-related changes, this yellow banner at the top is definitely the place to look. Another thing I want to point out before I go into how to access resources is how to get help. So if you forget everything that I said today, this is probably the most important thing. So I definitely recommend remembering how to get help. So we've got a couple of different ways that you can get in contact with us. I'm going to hover over the help drop-down menu and just click on Ask a Librarian to go through a couple of those. So we've got a couple of different ways to contact us. You're more than welcome to call us, send us an email. A really unique resource that I really like is this chat box here in the middle of the page. You'll see down here in the right-hand corner of the library website, that's the other way to get access chat. It should be on most of the library web pages. Chat is really fantastic because it's available 24/7. So if it's like a Sunday night, if it's like 3 a.m., if you are stuck or if you encounter a broken link or you're like, hey, I'm not sure where to go for this resource, I definitely recommend reaching out over chat. Chat is absolutely fantastic. There's real people on the other end. It's not like an automated chat like Verizon or something of the sort. It's definitely real people on the other end. If you do want a little bit more structure, the meeting with a librarian, what I'm going to recommend is scheduling an appointment with a librarian. So to do that, I'll scroll back up to the top of the page, hover over help again, click on meet with library staff. So you can meet with a variety of different library staff members, including the archives, the innovation station like I was talking about before. But this research one is the one that I'm going to point out to you just at the moment. This is a place where if you've got research coming down the line, if you've got a big paper coming up and you need a little bit more help, you've kind of selected a topic, selected a space that you want to go, but you want to just explore the different technologies or tools available or resources available, I definitely recommend scheduling an appointment with a librarian. So those are definitely a couple of ways to get in contact with us. Before I move on to a search, does anybody have any questions? I know I went through a lot of that pretty quickly. No? Okay. So next, I just want to show you what searching on the library website looks like. I know you all have probably done research before, you've looked on library websites before. I just want to make sure that you're a little bit familiar with what like our specific links look like, what our specific terminology looks like. So I'll do a basic search here in this main search box of the library website. This is a space that pulls information from a bunch of different databases. It's an interdisciplinary search, so it's a really great first place to start. So I'm just gonna type in Baltimore Orioles. If you are off campus at this stage, you'll need to use your Notre Dame username and password to log in. It should be pretty familiar, like logging into your email. I did that before just for time reasons. And here we go. We've got a bunch of different things that come up. So as I scroll through some of the results, a couple of things will jump out at you, may jump out at you. To start, I really recommend looking at this little icon next to the resource. That'll tell you what the format is. So you'll see a couple of books have come up to begin with. With these books, something that's kind of interesting is that you'll see, the Loyola Notre Dame Library Stacks comes up, but a couple of different universities come up as well. And that's because we're a part of a group of libraries in Maryland, a group of universities in Maryland that share resources. It's a service called USMAI, University of Maryland System and Affiliated Institutions. It's a really great resource. It just means we've got access to a bunch of different books. These books will take about like 3 days. I think it was a little bit longer last semester because we were doing, we had some issues with the mail. I think a lot of people had some issues with the mail last year. But it takes about 3 days for these books to arrive, but you can request these books. Another thing that'll come up, I just want to show you a different thing that will show up. So let's say you are looking for scholarly peer-reviewed journals. I want to just bring your eye to the limit to section over here on the left side. If you do know that you need a specific time period, if you need a specific type of resource, I definitely recommend taking advantage of these limits. So with the scholarly peer-reviewed journals, you'll see a couple of different results that come up. Just wanted to find one real quick. This Find It button and the Gale full text link, those should direct you directly to PDFs. I was looking for one, but it's not seeming to come up. Another resource that I want to identify for you is a service that we have called Interlibrary Loan. Interlibrary Loan is a really fantastic resource where we can get books, book chapters, and articles from other libraries. So these are items that we don't immediately have access to, but we can get access to pretty quickly. And then lastly, something that I want to tell you about with the books is that we do have curbside pickup available, or we've got lockers in the front of the library. That's a contactless pickup available at the moment. You can find out some more information about that contactless pickup if you go back to the library website and scroll down and click on this request contactless pickup of books here. It's where you can get some more information. So I know this was a lot of information. You'll have other libraries come into other your classes to give you a little bit more information about specific research needs or specific research projects. But I was hoping today could just be a very brief overview. Definitely recommend if you have any questions, reach out over chat. You're more than welcome to email me. But thank you so much for having me today. Before I go, does anybody have any questions, or is there anything that I can answer?
I do have a question. Could you just show us one more time how you navigated to the peer review articles?
Yes, absolutely. I'll share my screen once again. So, okay, so I was on the main search of the main page of the library website, just lndl.org. And I did a general search for a topic and clicked on Go. And then over here on the left side of the page, we've got some limits. So limit to scholarly peer-reviewed journals is over here on the left side of the page. You may want to just like verify that it is scholarly. You can do that on the journal's website, or it is peer-reviewed. You can do that on the journal's website. You know, the databases are really smart, but sometimes they don't catch everything. If you do need help with that, I definitely recommend reaching out over library chat. Librarians can totally help you with that. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Fantastic. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for having me here today. I'll put my my email in the chat, and please let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything that I can help with.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so we had a couple other NDMU people jump on, so I'm just going to have Kathy Sypes introduce herself. Oh, you're on mute. Still on mute. There you go.
Okay. Yikes. Anyway, it's been one of those days. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Sypes. I'm the undergraduate advisor for the School of Education, and I work both with women's college students and with the CAUSE program.
Thanks, Kathy. Sheila?
Hey everybody, I'm Sheila Mahoney. I work with our graduate students who are seeking their initial teaching certification. So it's good to see all of you here.
And Linda?
Hi everyone, I'm in Southern Maryland with Dr. Carroll, and we work to do whatever we can do to help you guys be successful in school. I work with a lot of the technology and our EdTPA students, and we also work with our TAM students that are in the local high schools. I'm glad to see you guys. I hope you're successful.
Thanks so much. Okay, Ryan is going to go ahead and give some overview on email and Webadvisor and the catalog and handbook, it looks like. One-stop shop.
Yes, I'm going to be, it looks like a little busy for a little bit. I'll try and keep it brief, but so the website I gave you a link to in the chat box is we created to make life easier, especially with not only are we going to be doing orientations like this for each semester, but also just during the pandemic, just when students come aboard, it's just so much easier just so that they can go to one place that's a little more customized. I mean, NDM.edu is still a wonderful resource. We do suggest you visit there for all of the main campus information. However, we wanted to try and customize something for the School of Education students to try and help you throughout your academic journey here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen and kind of walk you through a couple instances. There's going to be some things I can't show you because of FERPA, just being able to protect students' privacy, but I'm going to, again, the website's going to really help you and I won't kind of bog you down with all the nitty-gritty details that you don't need to know. So let's go ahead and share. Let's see, share my screen. Okay. Let's see, let me stop for 1 second. It doesn't look like it's sharing very well. Hold on. Okay, let's try this one more time. Now it's up. I don't know what it was doing. Okay, so this is the website I gave you a link to. Again, it's in the chat box. Very first thing on my agenda is not just the website, but also the student email. Just to let you know, School of Education does not control the IT, the Information Technology Department. If you ever have any problems, just go ahead and write this down. The phone number is 410-532-5200. It's going to be on your syllabi. It's going to be on, it's pretty pronounced on all the different things. But if you ever have any issues with your email, you can always email the help desk, or you can also, which is at help@ndm.edu, or it might be help desk. If you just go into Outlook, you can type in help desk, it should show up. On the student email, it gives you the link to actually go and visit the email. To visit, you can search for it through the web, connect it on web. It is the easiest way. Once you join the School of Education, and actually any student, once they connect, once they join, they usually get a technology packet, which is a bunch of information that comes and gives you all the login credentials for every system on campus. Or again, you can contact the help desk and they can give it to you. So portal.ndm.edu is going to be able to give you access to web email. A lot of people are like, well, that's just another account. I do want to say that the School of Education, in fact, pretty much the university as a whole, they generally go with the policy that they use the school email address. They use the Notre Dame email address. I am going to show you a way if you want to forward email to another account, like if you have Gmail or if you have Yahoo or something like that. However, I do warn you, if you are in a school system at the moment, I do warn you not to probably forward it to that email address. The reason being is it'll probably see it as spam. So I just warn you about that. Anyway, for here, there's a bunch of directions on how to forward your email from one account to another. So if you want to use that, you can. And I think I'm going to write down, I will add to the student email information just how to get in contact with the help desk. If your faculty members, your advisors, they won't have access to your email account. So just to warn you. So you're going to want to contact IT if you need it. Okay. Next up, Webadvisor. So Webadvisor, instead of going to the website, I'm going to show you. I'm a PhD student, so I can actually show you what Webadvisor looks like as a student. I'm not going to be able to peer in here because then I'll give away all my private information. But if you want to go here to make a payment, if you want to change any of your accounts, if you want to take a look at your grades or take a look at unofficial transcripts or order transcripts, If you want to look up textbook information, look up the academic year calendar. This is a big one-stop shop for doing a lot of things when it comes to anything dealing with really the university and what you have to do about your information. You can go to Webadvisor. Anything else? You need to email your advisors. Sometimes they'll request documentation, especially if you're coming back onto campus, or if you're coming onto campus to have a course. You may need a COVID test to kind of pass those, and be able to go back on campus. If you, you may have to put documentation up here. I don't know the procedure yet, but anyway, Webadvisor is pretty much your one-stop shop for anything information-wise. If you want to register for your classes, you would go here to register for your classes. Trying to think anything else. You can get your class schedule. Let's see. I think that's most of what you can do. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going back and forth because I look at this menu and I start to think as a faculty of all the things I can do. But as a student, pretty much what you can do is what I had just mentioned, going through with self-service for registering for your courses, looking up your class, looking up your grades, of course, making a payment, which is important. Okay. So let me next go to Brightspace. So let me explain what Brightspace is. Brightspace is the new university's learning management system, course management system. Many of you might be in school districts. They might be using Google Classroom. They may be using Canvas. They might be using some sort of management system. It's basically the online learning environment for the university. So you'll go here to access your coursework. I'm just going to go into, anyway, you'll come here and the main pin is right here. This pin board is accessing to all of your classes. I'm going to go in here because I don't have anything going on. This is one of my gaming courses. I just started working in here today, but you'll go here to access things. If you go to tools, you'll be able to see your grades. I'm trying to think of what else. Let's see if you need to access your discussions or turn in an assignment, or you have to take a quiz. If your teacher is setting up a synchronous classroom and it's not a part of Zoom, they can also use the virtual classroom where they'll actually go. They might say, go to virtual classroom and we're going to meet at 6 p.m. You can go here to actually have a virtual classroom, very similar to like Zoom. Through the summer, we're having Zoom accounts. And then once the summer's over, the university is going to use their Brightspace learning platform for most of the online teaching learning sessions that are going to go on. If you click on content, it's going to give you a massive table of contents, all the information you have to do in your course. You see, I broke mine up into modules. Students might be doing the same thing. If you go in here and you're like, okay, I'm a student, I have to do certain things, you'll click on all of these items. Some of them are web pages, some of them are Word documents, some of them might be videos, some of them are discussion forums. To go into a discussion forum and participate, you just click on this link and you just start typing away. To turn something in, like this game diary would be an activity you can click on here, and they might have directions in here. They may have links, and you can upload your documents here. Can't do it on my screen at the moment because I'm the teacher, I'm not a student. Okay, so if you need to email your instructors, you can always go to this email icon, or let's see, the best way to do the email icon is probably through, trying to remember, as a student, you would go to tools, let's say, you should have a message up. For messaging, you should be able to click on the little letter icon to be able to get to your teacher. If not, you can always just find the email address off of the syllabi, off the syllabus to contact the person. So that is Brightspace. It's a lot nicer than our old system, in my opinion. It's definitely more user-friendly. It allows a lot of ways for instructors to give feedback. Not only can they type in there, but they can actually add video. They can add audio messages. So it's a really nice new setup. It's still new. So if you have instructors that may be making a mistake, just reach out to them and ask if there's something that you're confused about. We're human and we're still learning as we go. So please just reach out to them if you have any questions and we'll try to help you out. So that is Brightspace. I'm going to go back to the website just to talk about some of the things that I have put onto this website for you. So I'm going to click on the home button. And here on this website, there's the university mission statement. I'm not going to read through it for you right now, but I do want to show you some of the helpful links. There is a School of Education webpage that is on the main Notre Dame website that you may click on to access. If you need the academic calendar, you can click on here for the academic calendar. If you need the student portal, which will give you links to Brightspace, it'll give you links to your email. It will give you links to Webadvisor. You may click on the portal and it'll give you everything. If you want a copy of the School of Education Handbook, this is for all students. Right now, this is embedded, but you can obviously, should be able to download it if you want. We do have an honor code here at the university. There's a document that's embedded here that gives you the information on the honor code and the pledge. We do have a conceptual framework that you'll see on all of our syllabi, and access if you need access to disability services. There's contact information here. And there's also the directions on how to access these supportive services. So if you need anything, just reach out to the university and we'll get you squared away. If you do need accommodations, please reach out to your instructor early. Don't wait until the first assignment or the last assignment to contact them. They want to provide you with support, so please reach out as early as possible if you need some sort of accommodation. And there's also if anybody is from the PhD program, there is a PhD handbook here as well embedded. And also in these times of just extreme uncertainty with the pandemic and all the stresses that are going on in life, if you need counseling, you're more than welcome to contact the counseling center. Right now they're doing request by appointment is only by request, but you can contact them, give you all sorts of information. There's also COVID resources at the bottom, and there is the email address for the counseling center at the very bottom. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. There is a change to the bookstore. They're changing platforms. I don't know if it's for just instructors or if it's for students also. Just stay tuned for the information about the bookstore. I'm trying to think of anything else I may be forgetting. Another thing I put in here is important offices. So if you need to contact anything about the business office, or if you need forms done or financial aid, there's information here for you as well. I'm trying to go off of my list here. I think I've hit on everything. Am I missing something, Dr. Dupuy? No.
I think you got everything.
If there are any questions, again, I'll put the link back up to the website. Again, any teacher, any faculty member will be happy to help you.
Brian, so there's a question in the chat about chalk and wire. What is chalk and wire?
Yeah, I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, so Chalk and Wire is our assessment platform. The School of Education has been using it for well over 15 years now. We use it for our really large, common, important assessments, and also just for collecting a lot of information just about performance and demographics, all sorts of information. It is a part now, I believe, of your tuition. So somebody will be reaching out to you once you come on board. Somebody will be reaching out to you shortly about activating your Chalk and Wire account. Once you get established with your Chalk and Wire account, you'll be setting up a student portfolio. I do invite you to come back to this webpage. It does give you help with Chalk and Wire directions on how to set up a brand new account. And it takes you step-by-step instructions. If you need any help or assistance while you set up these new accounts, while you set up your portfolio, you can contact Professor Madeline Ball. Her phone number extension is probably best to reach her by email, since a lot of us are still during the summer, we'll be, off and hopefully enjoying the beach. You can obviously contact her by email. If you need video help or video tutorial assistance, I've also created about a 10-minute walkthrough on setting up everything when it comes to chalk and wire. So if you want to click on this, it'll just take you out to my YouTube channel, and it takes you from, I just got all of my credentials, I'm ready to build. I need to start building my chalk and wire account. It takes you through how to build an account, how to build a portfolio, and how to submit your work, and how to even go back into a portfolio to submit it again and again and again. If you need to, if by some chance, I guess if you need to purchase an account, I'm pretty sure we're at the point now where we don't need to purchase accounts outside of tuition, but if you do, there's also a link to how to pay for it online. It's a secure TouchNet link. I'm trying to think of anything.
Brian, how long does the chalk and wire account stay active?
5 years, so plenty of time. And if by some chance you're here throughout the duration, you want to keep on going from undergraduate all the way to PhD, you really only have to keep it for one degree. But if you really love chalk and wire, there's always ways to renew it. If you have to even take a break, you can always get renewal for a cheaper rate. Let's see if there's anything else in this chat. Any other questions? I think those are all the questions, and I think I went through all of my agenda. So I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Dupuy. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Dr. Moore, you are up next to go over the honor code that Ryan mentioned.
Okay, glad to be here. Thanks to everybody for coming out this evening. Can you see the honor code slide on my screen?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right, so this will be a very brief presentation, I promise, in respect to your time, but this is an important foundation to our community, our academic community, our scholarly community here at Notre Dame, Maryland University. And there's a long history to our honor code. It goes back almost 100 years to unproctored tests for the students at the Women's College, and our honor code extends beyond just the undergrads, goes to all of our graduate programs as well. And it is essentially a reminder and a commitment by the students to act with integrity in all areas of their life, particularly in the case of graduate students in your academic and scholarly pursuits. So this is part of the philosophy of Notre Dame and the mission of Notre Dame, and we take the privilege of being a part of the Notre Dame community very seriously. And with that privilege, with that gift of being a member of Notre Dame, there is an important responsibility that goes with it, and that is that we maintain a certain level of rigor, we maintain a certain level of responsibility and commitment to the truth, and to pursuing our scholarly activities in a very genuine and serious manner. There's the old adage about the weakest link. The weakest link breaks the chain. We are all links of that chain of academic integrity here at the university, and so it's important for all of us as individuals, as each link in that chain, that we maintain that personal responsibility, and that we expect that also from others. And this is important, particularly in the 21st century. It's an important reminder, I think, for faculty and for graduate students and for all members of our community, particularly as we do a lot of online learning and a lot of learning that's not taking place face-to-face and in person, that we maintain that level of rigor, that level of responsibility, that level of seriousness of conduct. So this is all part of the community spirit of Notre Dame, that we all depend on one another, and the good standing and good reputation of the university is in the hands of all of us, either both individual faculty members, individual graduate students, undergraduate students, and all of our staff. Everyone that's part of our community is one of the links in that chain. So what this means is that there are certain responsibilities that are laid out by the university, and you can look at these at length in the university student handbook. I promise I won't read you 21 pages of the handbook, but they are there. there, and we can certainly send that link out. But within the graduate student handbook and the handbook that is linked through the chat, you'll find the honor code and the honor commitment and pledge right near the very beginning of that handbook, because it is so integral to everything that we do, all of the work that we submit and all of the research and standards that we look to uphold as scholars sharing in an intellectual community. So all of the details of prohibited conduct and transgressions of anyone not acting in accordance with the standards are listed in the handbook. If you want to look those things up, you can certainly find out about that. And when we have violations, we refer those to the honor board, which is a combination of faculty and staff, which is elected by the faculty, by the staff. And then we also have student representation on the honor board. The honor board meets from time to time. We have a member of the School of Education as part of the honor board, and they would deliberate on any issues that might come up and determine consequences for actions, which are mostly laid out in that student handbook. What it really means for you, because I'm sure no one in this meeting is ever going to have an honor board issue, but what it means in terms of a pledge and a commitment that we make, we have an honor commitment. Again, that's there in our handbook, where we essentially all agree to maintain academic and social integrity, and that we fulfill our obligations under the honor code and abide by all academic and other policies and standards of the university. And there's an agreement that you will sign in the handbook once you start taking courses. The pledge is also part of that, which focuses on the responsibility that I was talking about, and it is a solemn oath that you take to enter into scholarship with all intentions of being genuine and rigorous and as we like to say at Notre Dame, following truth and trying to be goodness in all things that we do every day in our community. And then the final piece that I would introduce to you, which is our statement of integrity of our academic work, is where the honor pledge gets attached to all of our assignments, where we simply state on everything that we submit, every paper, every exam, what have you, I hereby affirm that I have neither given nor received help on the exam or paper or the assignment, whatever that particular thing is, and then we sign that. So that's just a reminder with each assignment that you are aware of the honor pledge, that you take that seriously, and that you have adhered to that in the scholarly work that you do. So I promised it would be brief. I'm happy to take any questions that anybody might have about our honor code or our honor pledge. All right, well, I'll be monitoring the chat if anything comes up in the next few minutes. So thank you for listening to my little piece of tonight's program, and I wish all of you the best of luck and hope that you will have a very successful and fruitful intellectual and academic experience here at Notre Dame.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, Donna Schistler is next with our general information, IDs, parking, security, all the important stuff.
Hello. Your parking pass for your car can be gotten at the front desk of Gibbons Hall. Gibbons is the building with the tower on top. The first floor, there is a security desk right at the main entrance. If they don't have them there, they normally do, but if they wouldn't, the security office is in the basement of the building. And as long as you have your tag number, your make and model, they'll be able to give you a sticker that then you place on your car, and that allows you to park in the different parking spots that are for students. For an ID card, that is in Rice Hall. It is the little building behind Gibbons, and you can go there and they take your picture and give you an ID card. And then you can use that ID card. It has a swipe bar on the back. You can use that to get access to different buildings that you need to be in. You use it for the copy machine, for making copies. And the document center is also in Gibbons Hall, the main one in the basement. We have a post office down there that if you're here during their working hours, you can get stamps, you can mail packages. you can have documents copied, or you can use the big copier in the hallway and have copies made there with your ID card. Any questions about anything?
Has this already been covered? I'm sorry, but how do we get ID cards?
You go to Rice Hall, and I don't know that you have to have any information, where you just tell them you're a student, and they will look you up in the system. They'll take your picture and they print you one of the cards, and it has a barcode and a scanner bar on the back of it. Okay, and that's what you use during the duration of your time here.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Somebody asked about when do we advise getting? I would advise getting it just as soon as you can. You don't know which buildings are, going to have the door closed at different times that you'll need your card to slide through. We also have a gym here, a fitness center, that you have to have your ID card to get in that. So the sooner you get it, the more beneficial it's going to be for you. The same with the tag on your car. You don't want to get here late one night and find a parking spot and then get a ticket because you're in a spot that's supposed to be for a student and you don't have an ID or a sticker on your car. The COVID regulations for campus. Have they made it that you have to have a negative test to come back on campus? I don't know how they're enforcing that though. And I don't know that they've made it mandatory yet to have a shot. I think they're working towards that, but they haven't done it yet. But you do have to have a negative test before you can come back on campus if you've been away from the campus. And if you travel out of state to certain states, they definitely want a test.
So you're saying that we should get an ID card as soon as possible, but we have to have a negative test in order to come onto campus to get that.
I don't know whether they're letting you have, if you have your shot record, is that?
No, there's a spot on Webadvisor that you have to upload your vaccination record and a negative test, and they just sent out communication about the summer that even if you are vaccinated, you still have to have a negative test before you come onto campus.
Is there a health center on campus where we can get that done?
There is not.
Okay.
No, if you don't plan on coming to campus, you don't need to get an ID card. That's up to you.
The ID cards, if you're gonna print anything, you're gonna swipe it on the printers, so you'll need it for that. Or if you're gonna go to the library, you're gonna have to show them that ID. You can also, I think, add money to it if you want to buy anything at the dining hall. And also, I mean, sometimes you get discounts at actual stores, to show a student ID. And also, yeah, I mean, educate, and an educator, if you're a student or you're in education.
As soon as you get accepted to a program, then it takes a day or so for the turnover to get you in the system, but you'll get an IT letter. If you're a former student, you may have to contact the help desk, and what they'll have you do is update your information in the system, change your password, that kind of thing. They may not issue you a new tech packet, okay? So if you're a returning student to a different program or completing a program, we usually advise you to touch base with the IT help desk. And if you can also email them at helpdesk@ndm.edu. Because if they're not there to answer your phone, sometimes they are remotely working. Thanks, Kelly.
All right, if you have other questions, keep them coming in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to move on to our last piece of the general session, which is counseling services, and Kathy Sypes is going to go over that for us.
Right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I would just say, you know, as a student, an education student, one of the things that you're going to spend a lot of time on is learning how to differentiate for the different needs of the students that you'll teach. And so one of the things that we're aware of is that there's some differentiation that sometimes needs to go on among us as well. And so I just wanted you to be aware that we do have a counseling center, and you can reach them via email. If you go onto the ndm.edu website, you can access that. We also have a disability center. So for those folks who have had accommodations in the past, I would encourage you to get your documentation updated so that you can submit that and not wait until there's an issue in a class to do that. So if you supply the documentation necessary, and they'll tell you what you need to do, then you get some information that you share with every instructor that you have, so that if you need on-time testing or you know, a quiet place to take an exam or something like that, that you're certainly entitled to that, but the documentation has to be in place. So I would say if you've had it in the past, those kind of learning challenges don't generally disappear with adulthood. So you might want to continue to get the accommodations that you are entitled to.
Any questions for Kathy? Or any questions in general about what we went over? I know it's a lot of information, but if anything sticks out for you. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second part of the program, and we're going to do some breakout sessions, and there will be faculty and staff leading each of the breakout sessions. Ryan has posted in the chat the different links. They're also on the agenda that was sent to you. So if you are a PhD or a case student, you're going to click on that link and go. If you're a Master of Art in Teaching, so MAT, MAT Sol, or if you're in the Accelerated Certification Program, the ACT program, you will click on that link. If you are getting a master's, a postmaster's, so any sort of certificates or things like that nature, you'll click on that link. And then finally, if you are in the CAUSE program or the undergraduate program, you will click on that link. And you will meet with advisors and faculty to talk about your programs. So thank you all again, and have a good breakout session.
Any faculty that are hosting need to end and go and click on the new link and host their site.
Oh my gosh, sorry, Ron.
That's okay. I'm just gonna wait until everybody's off before I end it.
Quickly, I missed it. If I'm in the certificate program for a master's in education, well, eventually going to be a master's in education, which one do I join?
So you're in Masters of Education. So MAT, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be the second link, MAT/ACT.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Hi, I'm doing a PBC program for ESOL. Where would that be? Which one would I click?
PBC. I'm sorry, I'm not aware.
Post-bachelor certificate. I tried to message Julianne, but she went away.
I would slip into the. See, it's not really MAT or ACT. It's post-bac. I would go into the first link and just say your and just as soon as you get there, just say, you know, you can even use the chat box and just say, I'm part of this post-bac certificate program. Should I stay here or should I go to another link? And when you get your answers, all the links are still on that advertisement that I created. So you can click onto the other link. I wish I could give you better advice. All the really knowledgeable people already jumped off to host.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. Yep.